so we can do that.
Okay. I'm
You can
gonna
give me a
start
green light
sharing as
when.
well. Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
sure.
So we can introduce you officially. So our speaker for today is Mr. Yu or Yusef Marshall. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah,
Okay, hold on.
I can see it.
Let me just retry it once more. Okay, perfect. So let me know if we're gonna start. Are you ready, guys? Okay, awesome.
I think we're ready to roll.
Awesome. So let's welcome Mr. Yu.
Thank you for attending this session today. We are honored that you would take your time today to spend with us. We pray you get out of this session everything you had hoped for and more. Now get ready to experience power, presence, and purpose in motion. Yusef Marshall, also known as Mr. U, is a high performance coach, worship leader, and a bold voice for accountability and excellence. For over 25 years, he has helped entrepreneurs, executive athletes, and creatives rise above limitations and live with discipline and conviction. As host of the Three Excuse Removing podcast, Yusuf challenges leaders to stop negotiating with excuses and start showing up fully. Today, you won't be inspired, you will be active. Help me welcome Mr. Yu.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Dr. B. Thank you, Lex. Appreciate all you guys being here with us this morning. Let's go ahead and jump in. So just to be preface this, we're talking about business, balance, and boundaries in the AI era. We're going to have a follow-up to this on February 24th, which is this Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST. Not sure about the link yet. Lex can help us out with, it's going to be a Zoom link or a link through the Circle app. Not sure which one, but this Tuesday, 3 days from now, on the 24th at 7 p.m. EST, it's going to give me the opportunity to flesh this out some more with more time, as well as answer any questions you might have from this particular talk if you don't have time to talk about it. So just so you know what's happening, but let's go ahead and jump in. Most people don't really resist AI because they hate technology. They resist it because they don't want to lag behind the rest of the world, or they have a really big fear of being replaced. I'll let you guys decide if that's a rational fear in your mind or not of being replaced by AI. But really, I believe it's a tug of war with relevance. I believe that man's greatest need is to be known. For decades, people like myself have struggled in the marketplaces, struggled in corporate spaces because they feel overlooked and undervalued. Now, here comes this technology that threatens to outperform us in productivity and effectiveness, and also perhaps threatens to replace us altogether. That's actually happening throughout certain parts of the world. Technology is replacing actual human people like you and I. So we can go ahead and question the intent of AI. That's a different story for a different day and the onset of new technology. But I think there's an invitation here that we can pull from this new AI era that we're in to be more intentional with how you think, how you prepare, and how you communicate. So who I'm talking to today is leaders. I'm also talking to podcasters, speakers, professional speakers, content creators. That's who we're talking to in this talk today because I hear from you guys so much, and I see the AI and how we are kind of rejecting it, and some of us are embracing it a little bit, and some of us are embracing it so much that we take our creativity and our ability and our skill set and our humanness out of it to allow AI to make things easier for us. So we got three different factions there that I'll find out hopefully throughout this talk where you guys fall in that. But one thing I noticed about events in life, just as a general observation, events in life really do two things for in my assessment. One, they either cast a light on something that's faulty, or it pressures us into being into a space where we are the most valuable and the most fulfilled and perhaps the most effective. We a space that creates diamonds and turns potential into purpose. Roughly right now, 3 out of 4 organizations are using AI in some kind of capacity. And most leaders and communicators are adopting it faster than the average worker, which says a lot. I think they see that clarity and speed mean more today now than ever before. I don't care if it's in shipping, I don't care if it's in communications or telecommunications, whatever the genre you're in, it feels like AI is helping things to get done faster. We can decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. We can get into that. But AI isn't winning because it's brilliant. It's winning because it removes friction. It removes impediments emotionally. There's a story I had with a person who I just call the quiet leader because she definitely falls in that category. I had a conversation with her not that long ago. She's seasoned, she's respected, she's very sharp, built their reputation the old school way with discipline and presence and relational capital. And what I learned was surprising. She's not afraid of AI being smarter than her, but she was more afraid of what most humans fear more than anything else, becoming irrelevant. And it hit me because of what she was really saying. What she was saying to me was, I don't want the world to move faster than I have the ability to adapt. Think about that for a second. Most workflows, if you look at those, you see that AI isn't really threatening our leadership, it's exposing the friction. How many times, by show of hands, how many times have you tried to write an email 3 times, 2 or 3 times, had to rewrite because you know what, it didn't sound quite right, it wasn't what you wanted to say? How many times have you delayed sending a text messages? I'm gonna put up both my hands for this one. I have to go back. I thank God for the iPhone feature that allows me to unsend within a matter of seconds, because I need that a lot of times. I come out emotionally and I'm like, you know what? This is not what I want to say. I don't want to send this message about myself. So I delay sending it, have to resend and unsend. How many times have we had a conference call like this one, or a strategy call, strategy session for you guys that are coaches or in that field, and we overthink it? We spend more time trying to figure it out to get ready for the conversation. How many times have we avoided a conversation because we weren't prepared for it in our minds? We didn't feel fully prepared. What would happen if we use AI to help refine our messages? What would happen if we use AI to kind of stress test the way that we think? If you're an emotional thinker or an overly analytical person, can AI help you? Here's a question to ponder. Is it possible that we can become more human in our leadership by using AI? Something to think about. Is it possible that we can become more human in our leadership in the genre that you guys are in by using AI? This really is not about being more technical, because I don't think that's a good thing per se. I think it's more about becoming more intentional. Let's check this out. What I've noticed myself, and probably you guys have too, you can chime in wherever you need to. Most leadership problems that I've seen are communication problems in a different outfit. Most problems in leadership are just communication issues. They just fit it and they just look different. AI doesn't make you a better leader. Anybody that says so, I want to have a talk with you afterwards if you think that. But what it does do, it does reduce distortion between what you mean and what others are hearing, especially those of you that are in faith and community leadership or in organizational leadership structures. It does reduce distortion so that what you mean to say translates to what people are actually hearing. You know what you want to say, but it comes out too long or too vague or too heavy. That's what leaders actually struggle with in today's times. How does AI help you with that practically? I believe that AI gives you kind of access to those raw thoughts. It kind of takes all the emotion out of it. How many times have you had a conversation with somebody and your emotions got in the way of what you were trying to say? I'm gonna put up both my hands and my feet are up. You can't see my feet, but they're up too. Because the emotional part is really, in today's world, I don't want to get political, but in today's world, emotions are at an all-time high. Emotions are on display. And I'm asking you just a question for you to think about. You can nod your head or throw your hand up. Is that helping? The high level of emotion, do you see that to be helpful to where we are and where we're headed as a nation, as a people? Do you see that as helpful? I don't even see it helpful in my local community here. I go on the community page of our local community, and emotions are so high, but nothing gets done. Nothing gets accomplished. Nothing gets solved. It's just vitriol back and forth because of the level of emotions. AI takes all that stuff off of the table. You get to be in tune with the emotional version of yourself, so you know where you want to be in your communication and where you don't want to be. Have those raw thoughts exposed, the thing that makes sense in your head. We have access to that. Why is that important? Because clear messages reduces the need to have to follow up. Warm messages preserve trust. If you deal in a business where you have to deal with people and kind of open the door for them to trust you and to walk with integrity with you or to help you build something, having a consistent language is going to be really helpful in building a culture. I'd rather have AI help me say it once than have to say it 10 times. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, and I'm a great grandfather as well. For me, a pet peeve is having to repeat myself 2 or 3 times. I don't like doing it in any place where I function and operate. I mean, that's not reality. We have to repeat ourselves sometimes because things happen. But for me, it's a daily challenge for me. repeat myself 2, 3, 4 times, saying the same thing over and over again, I don't enjoy it. Like I said, it's a fact of life. You got to deal with it. But having AI help me to say something one time in my communication, whether it be online or in the coaching space or even in the podcasting space on a broadcast, saying it one time and being effective is better than me saying it 10 times. Some of you guys showed your hands already. You rewrote an email 3 times before you had to send it. That's not incompetence. That's just cognitive friction. That's all that really is. So next thing. All right. So for us as leaders, we don't need to have more answers. I feel like we put ourselves in a box and unfairly. We just need fewer blind spots. I look at AI. This is how I use AI specifically. I use AI as kind of a thinking mirror. I think somebody mentioned it. It might have been Dr. B. Somebody mentioned it, or even in a promo before we started this talk. If I give AI, low hanging fruit kind of questions, you know what you're going to get, right? Whatever works to appease you. That's what you're going to get every single time. How can I do this talk? They're going to give you whatever it is to appease you based on what AI knows about you. And it's basically, it should be used as a thinking mirror. It should have a result that says, you know what, I didn't think about that, or that makes sense. Why? Because it takes all the emotion out of it and takes all of the things that you put up as barriers and barriers of entry in your communication and removes all those things out of the way so you can get down to what you're trying to say. What do you want to say? Who you saying it to? And remove as many impediments as possible for the person you're trying to reach, the receiver, to get what you, the sender, is trying to send. Really that simple. Leaders might say, you know what should I do, AI? What question should I be asking that I'm not asking? Those kind of questions are a lot deeper than write this talk for me or write this essay for my school assignment. We have to really challenge AI to go deeper. And I think in doing that, we're challenging ourselves to go deeper too. Because the people who, as a matter of fact, if you go on social media, as a matter of fact, anywhere on social, I don't care if it's Facebook, Instagram, link, anywhere, you almost can tell what kind of prompts people use for AI to get the result that you're seeing in that post. You can almost tell what they even asked. And my question is this, because AI is not going to protect your ego, but what it's going to actually help you do is kind of slow down some of the impulsive decisions and help you think about things more clearly. I know it's going to take more time, probably. I would assess that because of what I've seen myself. It's going to take more time to begin to send communications out that you really feel good with and that you're proud of, and then you feel like, you know what, this fully represents me and my voice. But AI shouldn't be taken as a shortcut to creativity or a shortcut to sharing your calling or a shortcut to accomplishing a particular goal. It should help you out with restructuring and removing some of the friction. I had a communication with somebody who I deem a very strong communicator, and they were getting ready to make a major shift in their organization. A lot of angst about the decision, a lot of even worry, if I can be honest about it. The person's not here, so I'm grateful for that. But their decision would potentially alienate their team and their clients if they made the wrong one. So this person had two options: either restructure and risk the friction in the team and in the client base, or stay put and risk stagnation. Now, normally this person is going to ask a few trusted friends, make a decision based on gut feeling, and justify it afterward. Now, this person was ready to do all three of those things and even did some of those things with me. But we tried something different instead. We tried an AI prompt like, what blind spots might I have in this decision? What are the consequences for what I'm getting ready to consider doing today? And what you're going to find out, generally speaking, like I said earlier, AI is going to play the fence. AI is going to be like Switzerland, neutral, when you bring different opinions. But when you ask pointed questions that are direct and speak to the heart of what you need, and of course, got to be in a certain mindset to even get there. You can't just ask low ball questions, low hanging fruit questions, and expect to get those kind of deep results. You got to dig a little bit. I don't know if your AI is different than mine, but when I use AI, I'm finding that I got to go a lot deeper in my thought process before I even get to the place where I ask for AI advice or ask for a perspective from AI. But within minutes of that communication, what we saw a risk factor that the person didn't think about, never thought about it. We saw opportunities to have to adjust that person's communication because they weren't doing that. It was very basic and broad when it should be a lot more general and a lot more pointed. And we found that the AI didn't make the decision for that person. It just kind of helped strengthen the thinking. And really, that in the AI era that we're in, that's the difference. Strengthening the thinking. Did that make sense? Raise your hand if that makes sense to you. If you get that. Okay, so let's talk about the group that AI might help the most. You guys in communication. Let's talk about that a little bit. You guys that are speakers, you guys that are podcasters. One of the things that I've been seeing, you probably seen it yourself, is people are kind of caught up in the whole conviction, the whole passion thing. I got to have passion. I got to have conviction in my talk. And a lot of times, people who are doing this, they don't have wisdom, so they ramble. They're not disciplined in their structures, so they kind of sound like they're all over the place. They prepare emotionally, but I guess I could say architecturally, they're not prepared. They have the story, but they don't always build out the message. And what happens is when your structure is weak, you over explain, you rush through points, your closing feels kind of improvised, and audiences remember the story, but they forget all about the main point of what you're trying to share. Instead of asking AI, write my speech for me, offer this instead. These are 3 ideas for some prompts. Here are my core ideas. Which one is the strongest? Organize these 3 main pillars or ideas into something that I can progress with in a discussion with somebody. What do I do? What do I cut if I only have 20 minutes, but I thought I had 30? These are the kind of questions that kind of make AI your structural editor, if you will. A lot of times, speakers who don't have discipline hide behind inspiration. Disciplined speakers build frameworks. If you resist structure, I know that this is something that people who are using AI that I know, I'm not calling names out, but people who I know who use AI, they are trying to get around the whole structural thing and trying to stay in a passionate creativity realm. But that's just ego disguised as authenticity. That's really all that is. We can't get around the structure. We need to have that. It concentrates the power that I believe we have. Emotions move folks, but structure carries them. So for me, I really feel like AI doesn't give us authority in some ways or some kind of a clout or cachet, but it forces us to clarify what we actually do have, the power that we actually do have. So for you guys that are podcasters, some things here for you as well. I think a lot of times as podcasters, myself included, we think that our audience needs to have more minutes. But I think we need to have more meaning per minute. I don't believe we need 45, 60-minute podcast episodes anymore, or even longer. Some of us podcasters have even longer than that, 90-minute episodes. I know myself, my attention span, I know where I'm at with it. It's not going to work for me. So we've likely recorded a 45 to 60-minute episode. We've repeated the same point 3 different ways in the episode. We use fillers to help us kind of get through the episode. Oohs and ahs and ums, kind of round things out and add more time to the episode. And the powerful insight that we might have to bring to the episode, they get buried. And we kind of push our way through it just for the sake of time. AI needs to be our unbiased editor. Think about AI and use it that way. You got to ask the right questions. It's kind of like, there's a movie, I can't think of the name of the movie now, but it's like, I know my wife knows it, but I can't remember it. But it's a movie where the guy was asking, robot. That's it. Thank you. All right. When Will Smith was asking his mentor questions, the AI wouldn't respond to the question he was asking. So you're asking the wrong questions. I'm only programmed to answer the right questions. And I believe AI is, matter of fact, they're probably art imitating life again. That's exactly what this is about. That's what AI is, probably an unbiased editor. Ask the right questions. Ask questions like, where did I repeat myself? Where can I remove that to make the talk or the episode more fluid and more engaging? What are the 3 strongest insights in this episode? What sections of this show feel unclear? Ask those kind of questions. And what you're going to find out is AI is going to do what AI is supposed to do. Show you where you have 8 minutes of redundancy, 3 unclear tangents that you happen to be on, a thesis that's been buried under all the stuff that you should have been putting out there in the first place. Most podcasters recognize that keeping it real in the way that we've been hearing about it is not real authenticity. Rawness is not real authenticity. I know people who just turn the mic on, hit record, and guess what they're doing? Saying whatever, and they want that to get over. They want that to be something that you can monetize. And it's like, you can't do that. It's the lack of refinement. It's even, I would call even laziness, an effort to get quick results without handling all of the details. Your audience is doing something that you should be honoring and respecting. They're giving you time on their commute. They're giving you their workout time, their jogging time, their mental space, their private moments. Respect that. Editing is not insecurity, it's stewardship. We're being responsible for people's time. We need to make sure that we manage that well. And last thing is for the content creators. If your content strategy is driven by likes and analytics, you're going to trade in depth for dopamine. It's going to happen. How many folks do you see in social media that are actually doing that right now? It feels good to watch the views climb and see all the shares spike and getting followers overnight while you sleep, but transformation is quiet. Metrics are loud, but transformation is quiet. And many creators, content creators begin with a mission and then they drift into performance. It's just going to hit rather than will this help somebody. We're tweaking captions, trying to reach more people. We're softening our convictions because we're trying to avoid backlash. We're putting in formats that are like what we've seen before because they're trending. So if I do it, maybe I'll trend too. And eventually your page may grow, but your message begins to shrink. AI can help you clarify your message, but it also reveals your motives. Ask AI questions, if you're a content creator, ask AI questions like, what belief am I reinforcing in this post or in this episode? Is this content deep or is it just attention grabbing? AI is going to answer you directly, no ego involved, no emotion involved. Is this really driving a real transformation or am I just fooling myself here? What would a critic say about this message? You turn the mirror on yourself. And I believe at the end of the day, that before you start asking AI for prompts, this is the place or the space where we have to have real deep, consistent self-evaluation. Because if we want AI to tell us how to be emotionally and spiritually, we want AI to try to help us to be better podcasters and better content creators and better professional speakers. I don't know if AI can do that for you. You may be able to tweet. I don't know if it can help you. AI can't create authenticity. It just exposes when it's not there. If you got a shallow prompt, your output is going to be shallow. If you're borrowing thinking from somebody who's quote unquote doing well or trending, your content is going to feel like it's something that's borrowed. Real content creators that are strong, they don't chase trends around, they just diagnose problems. Instead of asking what's viral right now, they ask what false belief is keeping my audience stuck? What limiting belief is keeping my audience from accomplishing what they want to accomplish? Ask AI to help you express, a more authentic sound rather than sounding generic. Ask AI to show you in this truth that I'm sharing, what's the sharpest version of that? Ask AI to help you with your voice and it being distinctive and not sounding like something that's not you, that's not authentically you, because once it's out there, it's out there. And in AI, all it's really supposed to do is to kind of stress test your originality, help refine your clarity, and even strengthen your argument. That's all it's supposed to do. That's supposed to manufacture things to help you look like you're a real leader or you really have courage by doing what you're doing. AI can sharpen the blade, but it can't tell you what to cut out. It just sharpens the blade. It doesn't tell you what to cut out that limits you in life. Growth begins the minute that we stop defending our habits and start strengthening our craft. As podcasters, as content creators, as professional speakers, we got to strengthen our craft, and AI can't help us do that. I know people think, it's a shortcut to success, but it really isn't. It really is not at all. And I want to kind of build on some fears that I hear people saying in regards to AI. How many of you guys have right now a legitimate fear about AI? Just raise your hand real quick. Brandon, what's yours real quick? Can you verbalize it real quick?
Yeah, my biggest fear is that humans start to stop using their creative minds and AI gets smarter than us and starts thinking for us and takes human beings over because we don't use the biggest thing that we have, which is our ability to have a creative mind.
Almost like a robot. I get that. Anybody else have a legit fear about AI that they want to share real quick? I thought so. Another hand go up. Did I not? Anybody whose cameras are not on that have a legit fear? Wanda, how about you?
I think it just take away who we are, and we'll just start depending on AI more than our own thoughts. Kind of like Brandon, we lose ourselves. That's my fear.
I love that. Anybody else that have a fear about AI? Lex? Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
was about to say the same thing, but at the same time, it's like AI is replacing some of the, like the jobs nowadays, let's say virtually, that AI are kind of representing as a human. But yeah, somehow that's kind of a bit sad for other skills.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you guys for sharing. Anybody else? Javier, you had your hand up? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think it's already started. It's already there. It's already
Okay.
taking over imagination. It's taking over conversation. It's taking over. So it's already, if you look at everything that's on TV, on the internet, all that, everything is AI now. Even
Mm.
movies that have made millions are in AI. So, that fear I think is already there. It's just like you said, it's about substance, not all that other stuff. So
Yeah, I love that, man. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? All right, so I'll just drop these fears real quick. There's three of them. The first fear number one is I'm behind. The person that's the A-type personality, I get where they're coming from with this one, but you're not behind. You're kind of just early in using this AI thing intentionally. A lot of people just avoid it altogether, but you're being thoughtful about it already. So that puts you ahead. So you're not behind, you're actually ahead. You just are refining what you understand about AI. Fear number two is this is going to kill my creativity or compromise my calling. I think some of you had shared some ideas on that or in the comment section, I think it was, but AI doesn't replace your purpose. It's supposed to kind of help out with removing the friction, the repetition, the things that kind of get in the way. I know for me, I like the AI removes my preparation fatigue because I'm a preparer and maybe perhaps over preparer. If I can be honest about that and transparent today, AI helps give me some time back, minutes and literally hours back. And that's one of the primary ways that I use it. I'm preparing for a talk or for a teaching or I have to do a ministry meeting of some sort. AI helps remove a lot of the barriers that I'm using or I'm adding to this thing, making my prep longer. Because I don't really have 2, 3 hours to be prepping for a talk or a teaching. So AI has been helping me out dramatically. Just Chat GPT, that by itself, removing a lot of the fatigue of trying to prepare and prepare for stuff. Uh, the last fear is it feels overwhelming. I've met a lot of folks, they just happen to be in a certain age group. This is not me putting them on blast. This is just something that it seems to be a thing where they feel like AI is overwhelming to them. They feel like they're talking to a machine, kind of like I robot again, and they don't feel comfortable with that. But I want to encourage you guys, just an insight for me. Don't obsess about adopting AI. Just adopt one habit and learn how to work that. Just one habit. Focus on one workflow, one friction point, one improvement or area of improvement. Just focus on that part. What I found is that the smartest people I know aren't using AI so they can do more. They're using it so they can think clearer, speak better, and lead with more calm and more clarity. That's really all I'm seeing. So just as an exercise, I'm gonna let you guys get some questions that you may have for us. Just use AI to refine one message this week, one email, one social media post, just one, not 10. I'm not asking you to do that. Just one. One email, one text, even a text. One text, one email, one social media post, or one of these, not all three, just one. And use AI to help you refine that message and see how it lands. Use it to organize one set of thoughts. Use it to reflect on something that maybe you're going to be doing soon, maybe a teaching or some kind of a webinar or something, and use that to kind of reflect on before the conversation is had, and see if it changes your fatigue level in prepping for it. See if it changes how you see it from a clarity standpoint. I believe it's going to help you out. So think about what are you going to be doing to remove, what are you going to remove that's been keeping you from slowing down? Because AI is supposed to be helping you with that. That's the whole point of this. I don't know about some sinister plot to take over the world. I leave it to you guys and conspiracy theorists everywhere. But to me, I'm like, there's an opportunity here for us to grow from using this kind of technology. I believe there's an opportunity here. What are you going to remove from your life this week that's been slowing you down that AI can help you with? AI should help you think better in regards to planning, preparing better, and communicating with less resistance. It's not any other really useful that I can think of. I don't want AI to speak for me and do my talks for me. I want my stories and my humanity to come through. And AI can't help me with that. But it can help me think a little bit more clearer, help me prepare a little better without the fatigue, and communicate with a lot less resistance and a lot less, I would say, friction. So I want to show more prompts in real time. So I'm doing a standalone session on Tuesday, the 24th, 3 days from now at 7 p.m. EST. Link to follow hopefully soon today, hopefully. And it'll give me a chance to get into more detail about the specifics of business and balance and boundaries for entrepreneurs specifically, and then answer your questions directly. So we see the last minute or so, not a lot. Sorry, Lex. Any questions you guys have in regards to the talk, any comments you want to make regarding what you learned, what you've seen, what stood out for you, please share those now. Thank you.
All right, so I just dropped the link to the access so they can join in. That's
Thank you.
becomingtheperson.com, so they can join your session on the 24th.
Sweet. Thank you. Any questions or comments from this talk that you guys want to drop real quick? Just unmute yourself and please share. Javier?
I just appreciate that you mentioned instead of I'm a big user of AI. I love AI. I think AI is the
You do
greatest
good with it too. You do really
thing,
good too.
and it's taught me so much in my ministry and how I go out and do stuff. But I also seen the bad side of it, and I've also seen its misuse. But I want to thank you for. It's not about how much content; it's about the substance, not the content. I'm starting to learn that. So, sure, we can put out 100 posts, 100 videos, but if it has no substance, it's nothing. It does nothing to no one but waste your time. So thank you for saying that. That's very important, especially as podcasters or content creators. And if you're in the faith field or a Christian, you really want to get that point across. So you don't want to make it lackluster or look foolish. So yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. And thanks for the comment, Steve, in the chat there. Anybody want to answer in less than 30 seconds? Share a comment or a question? Because that's all we have left. If not, we'll leave out of the breakout room. But thank you for your time and thank you for jumping into this talk today. And I hope it helps you a lot. I hope you can jump in on Tuesday night with us and kind of get into more detail. I'm going to leave a lot of time for you guys for questions and comments. So this is going to be you on Tuesday. Brandon, you got 9 seconds. What you going to say, man? How much time you got? All right.